Welcome to Sharp Football Analysis. My name is Raymond. I am joined today by the one, the only, the GOAT, Rich Rebar, as we look to draft a best ball team, yet another best ball team. Our second to last best ball team, unfortunately. That's actually got me in my feels a little bit. Draft season's coming.
I think it's the
to
last,
an end.
right?
No, second to last. Oh, it's the Gorilla Best Ball.
It's a managed team.
Team. Oh no, that's actually news. We're teasing that for next week. That's a tease. We'll talk about that in just a second. But if I'm drafting a team, obviously I'm drafting it with Rich, the one, the only Rich. How are we doing, my friend?
We're doing real good, man. We're closing in. It feels like I said, we were joking a little bit before we got on air about like this is the longest training camp ever because they extended the offseason for a weekend, but the training camp still opened at the same time, and it feels that way. We're now breaking down guys carrying pizza boxes and how their ankle looks. It's been an amazing time this summer, and we're still like 18 days away to like the first Sunday. I know kickoffs, so like the Wednesday game is a little shorter, but like
sure.
It's crazy that most of these teams almost have 3 full weeks still before they play.
It's so far away. Like I got into this week and I started getting ready for, okay, next week's season, how are we going to get all this scheduled? And then I looked at the calendar and went, oh, we have 2 full weeks. It's taking forever to get here. I know that once the season shows up, we're not going to want it to go quite as fast as it does. So we're just going to have to revel in these moments. But, there is a lot going on for sure. By the way, speaking of, we mentioned it kind of a little bit at the top. We saw some comments asking for a higher stakes draft. So that's what we're going to give you. Next week, we already have a big gorilla scheduled over at FFPC. That's a weird sentence, by the way, out of context. We already have a big gorilla scheduled. Like, I don't know if I like that name. Anyway, that's something we can talk about later with our friends over at FFPC. But we'll be doing that next week, same time. You'll see it on Friday. Going through, as Rich says, that is a managed league, so it'll be a little bit different. We'll see a little bit more of how Rich likes to draft in managed leagues because it is different the way that we're drafting in managed leagues. And obviously it's a little bit higher stakes than what we've been doing with Best Ball Mania and the DraftKings Millionaire Contest. So, a little bit of a different vibe. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, to YouTube channel, wherever you find us. You get access to that draft whenever it releases. By the way, if you're drafting this weekend, next weekend, whenever, you want our draft kit powered by Rich Rebar. A ton of stuff in there. I looked it up. There's over 75 articles and tools available in our draft kit. Head over to sharpfootballanalysis.com. You can find the draft kit hub. Has a link to every single article. And if you want access to that draft kit, you can get it through our fantasy football bundle, which also includes our in-season content from Rich, the worksheet. There is no better way to get ready for a week, whether that be fantasy or just like betting on props, than Rich's worksheet. Goes through every offensive relevant player every single week. So let's at least do the first 17 weeks, every fantasy week of the season, we should say. You get that bundle for $20 off using promo code BUNDLE20. That's BUNDLE20. So make sure you check that out. You mentioned the Jeremiah Love thing with the boxes, and we have officially entered. We were already there, but we're really deep into silly season now with everything that we're looking at. Some people are spending, people I really like and have fondness for, are spending way too much time on the Everything app looking for news. But we did have some news come out. There are some injuries. A lot of times it seems like people are overreacting to it. We had that Josh Jacobs quote from the Packers GM, whose last name I can never say. It seems like that was taken out of context and had people really worried about a Josh Jacobs suspension. Lots of stuff going on. What are you reacting to over the last week since our last draft? What actually matters to you that you're paying attention to?
Well, definitely this Ashton Jeanty thing is the biggest one, right?
Sure.
Like, the prayer circle healed his leg and made his knee injury an ankle injury, but we still don't kind of know any specifics, right? Yeah. Like, not long-term seems promising. It's not season ending, but like, is he still going to play week 1? Right. I think that this is where we still are with like the vagueness of these injuries, because they don't have to report any of this stuff yet, this deep in the summer without a game, right? Like there's no actual game status for any of these players. So it's just really kind of hard to diagnose, the severity of something like that. Because this is a guy that was going as high as the middle of the first sometimes. Sometimes he was the 3rd running back taken. in drafts, that people were that bullish on him. So, kind of where does he fall if we get some clarity on if he's going to miss 1 game, 2 games? Could he still be a threat to be on the pup? Like, you would think he would be a guy like this organization wants to be cautious with. But we just remains to be seen. But he's definitely the biggest one. The other guys like Love and Breece Hall, like I'd hardly touch those guys because it just seemed like we still had a month to go before the start of the season. So I always thought that they were kind of be on schedule to at least be active week 1 or be probable to be drawing live to be active. So it doesn't look like a lot of guys are going to play this final week of preseason. So it looks like we might hopefully come through unscathed from a game status, but all these guys have been really getting like nicked up in practices. So hopefully we just make it through these final 2 weeks without any of these guys going down. But that's really it. Is just the Jeanty's kind of the big one.
Yeah, and we normally say this at the top, but I'll make mention of it now. We record these on Thursday, like noon-ish around there. And so this is before the Thursday night preseason games, although I looked at the schedule and like we might get a little bit of Justin Herbert. We'll get some Fernando Mendoza, but that's really all we're looking at. So yeah, this week probably is not going to be a week for preseason injuries. But if something does happen and we draft a player that gets hurt in practice on Thursday afternoon, that's the reason why. So just know.
And reminder too, anytime any of this stuff happens, I am updating all the information as we get it.
Yeah, the rankings were updated after the Booty trade. Like it's like 30 minutes. It felt like you told me, yeah, we got these updated for the Booty trade. So there we are. What about him? Are you interested at all in that? Him going to Houston?
Yeah, I mean, it helps Nico Collins. I mean, this is a guy that can go out there and, be a deep threat, draw coverage from like tactical leverage, right? I also think he could be more than a deep threat. Maybe plays some more Z like he did in college. But it's just getting another cromulent guy that can open up Nico Collins, right? Because we don't want Xavier Hutchinson running 400 routes again with Nico Collins on the field. But Nico is still like I think one of the bigger winners. We just need him to get through a season where he plays all 17 games.
Cromulent is our word of the off season. You've decided that cromulent is going to be the one. I like it. I'm here for cromulent. We are into a draft, so we are live here. Didn't end up with the first, second, or third pick, which that's been where we've been. It feels like in every single draft. Ended up pick 9, or pick 10, excuse me. So an interesting part of the draft, and I know you have a specific kind of approach at this part of the draft.
It's interesting as we're in the 11th hour of drafting all these teams, it's kind of shaping up, how these drafts go based on draft slot. It seems like the first couple spots, it's more of like an anchor RB approach. The middle is a little more fluid. You can do some 0 RB, wide receiver heavy stuff. You can kind of split the baby, do wide receiver running back. The back third is almost pretty always been like more of a running back approach for me, because you can get 2 of these top 10 guys and then just hammer wide receiver, which in the area where I believe is the strongest, rounds 3 through 6. So with us picking at 9, it'll probably be some kind of setup like that. But it's really kind of how drafting has kind of taken its final form.
Yeah, and actually, this is where I misspoke, by the way, about pick 9. We are pick 10. But this is where I want to draft, honestly. This is where I feel the most comfortable. This is where I like the teams the best. Maybe I'd rather pick 8 or 9 than 10. But ultimately, because I'm very high on James Cook and I'm very high on Saquon, I end up getting pretty much who I want in the first round, even at 10. And then I'm able to kind of get that second running back and then kind of build from there. So I've been liking picking from this part. Speaking of that, we don't know who will be there. We're still 3 picks away. Chris McCaffrey just went, and then we saw James Cook go, so that ruins all of my dreams. Who are you thinking about here? I haven't taken a lot of Jonathan Taylor. There goes Jonathan Taylor. So don't have to worry about that. So looking at running back, I mean, Amon-Ra's still there. If Amon-Ra falls to us, that feels like that's just something we probably have to do. He's
been my default, like in full PPR, anytime he hits usually pick 7 and beyond, I'll take him. But we'll see. We got 9 seconds here. After that, we'd probably be looking at your favorite guy at the top. I have Saquon first. Sometimes he makes it through though. Like we could do Chase Brown or Kenneth Walker, but those I would like to get 2 of Saquon, Chase Brown, and Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, let's just do Saquon. You have him top. I'm happy with that here. I do like Kenneth Walker. I don't really have a lot of concern about the injury that we saw, so I'm not that worried about it. We also still, like we said, Lamb just went after us, and Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson usually goes,
So I would think that one of those guys falls through, and if not, I mean, there's still Achane and Hampton there. Henry very interesting. Henry going ahead of those guys. So we've got Achane and Hampton. I'm a Hampton guy here. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I would have Hampton first too. I just think he's got the cleanest path out of this group of guys to get like 12 plus touchdowns.
Yeah, I like him here. And obviously in that offense, we do have concerns about some of the stuff we've heard about like timeshare and getting the best players on the field, but that's obviously what they want to do. And I think Hampton probably more often than not going to end up being the best player. And so I'm fine with still drafting him right here. That Derrick Henry going at 13 in DraftKings is interesting. I think most of the time when I'm drafting at DraftKings, he's falling towards the end of the second round. Again, not a criticism, just interesting. Could be right. Just an interesting kind of change.
Yeah, I mean, if that's that gamer is more bullish on Derrick Henry's not coming back to you. So I get it. If you have Derrick Henry ranked at that position, I was in a live draft at FFPC or NFFC this week, and at the 2-3 turn, someone took Jaylen Waddle. And I was like, oh, that's high for Waddle. But then also, like, if you have Waddle that high, you have no shot to come back and get him. So, like, you have to fire that chip, especially in these big money tournaments, like where you're really firing, like where your money where your mouth is, right? And if you believe Waddle's that good, like you want him, like you're trying to win that money.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to point out like deviations from what I've seen, not in a criticism way whatsoever. That could be great value on Derrick Henry. We don't know. That's kind of the point on all of this. After us, we did see Bowers go, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Olave, Rashee Rice going there as well. Again, I think that's probably a little higher than he normally goes, but certainly not out of the realm. We still have Jeanty falling, like you said. We have that uncertainty about him. You brought up Waddle. I was trying to remember a team that I was thinking about that I probably didn't have enough of. That was actually it, was the Denver passing game with what we've seen from them with Bo Nix throwing it down the field more. I wonder if Nix, Waddle, Sutton is something I haven't invested enough in, because I liked Waddle. We talked about that after that trade. I was all in on Waddle. I had plenty of Waddle, but I don't think I have added Nix and even Sutton to that. And if we do see them throwing down the field more under the new offensive coordinator, again, however long that lasts, we'll see how this all works out. They have a tough start to their season. We could certainly see some changes made if things don't go well, but I think Nix is specifically the guy that I don't think I have enough of. So he was someone I was going to bring up in here.
Yeah, I like Bo Nix a lot too, where he goes. I mean, that whole pocket of quarterbacks is great. The great thing is now we're shifting to managed leagues, and gamers will see that next week when we do the Gorilla team. Is that the quarterback market is totally different than these, and it's nice.
Yeah, not everybody's hunting for 2 and 3, right?
Right.
Especially in the higher stakes.
We took one last night in our main event. We had a plan to take 2, but we had a wave that went and said, "Hey, we'll deal with it in season."
We saw, just to call this out because, of the news, Jeanty, we saw him go to the 2-3 turn there, the first pick of the 3rd round, just ahead of Etienne, just ahead of Kyron Williams. So that's the slip we've seen from him, which I like. It makes sense. It's not a wild thing, but it is interesting. How about Nico Collins falling to the middle of the 3rd round there? That is great value for that team, picking from, what is that, the 6th spot? McCaffrey, A.J. Brown, Nico Collins. I'd be pretty okay with that start if I were them. Who are you thinking about? We still got Trey McBride on the board. Obviously, we want to hammer receiver. Speaking of Waddle's, we'll see if he goes. Zay Flowers is obviously somebody that we've talked about a lot that I like around this part. He just went. Josh Allen just went as well. So then we saw McBride go. So Waddle's here if we want to take him. T. Higgins is here. Garrett Wilson, Egbuka, but obviously we've his injury. DJ Moore. Who are you thinking here?
Yeah, let's just take Waddle.
Yeah, let's do it. And then coming back around, we're probably still looking at that similar. We're not going to push Loveland here. I don't think, right? We're not probably pushing. I mean, I'd be okay with a Breece Hall here. I don't know about Jeremiah Love. We already had concerns about Jeremiah Love. We're probably
it would
pushing.
Be T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Tet McMillan. Any of those guys, I think, would be completely fine. I've warmed up to Tet McMillan. I'll say this last couple, that proof of concept of him moving around I think is massive for his floor.
So you pick,
but I would be
Garrett Wilson.
I would be T. Higgins though of number 1 if I had my choice.
I'll take
again the touchdown upside.
Sure.
I love touchdown equity.
Sure.
Guys that can push double-digit touchdowns.
And I actually think that's Like that's one of the things is like I would have Garrett Wilson over T Higgins, but also like they're all in the same group. So I'm not saying that. Like, if you wanted to take T. Higgins over A.J. Brown, I would have a pushback on that, right? But if you want to take T. Higgins over somebody I think is in a similar group, even if I don't have them ordered that way, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about T. Higgins over A.J. Brown. Like, you can be wrong about anything. But just remembering that because you have it in your head that this is the way you think it should go is not necessarily what's going to happen. So be fluid, expand that portfolio, think outside the box.
And I've said before, like I want to be in on the Jets. Like I'm actually excited about the Jets, and the way I've kind of coped way I'm going to play the Jets is more from like an early season DFS angle, because I just believe the last month of the season Klubnik's going to play. I just don't think they're going to have enough outright wins to justify not taking a look at him.
I have on teams with Geno Smith, I've brought back like because I do like Geno Smith and I like Garrett Wilson, and so I do end up with like late Geno Smith, but I normally will have someone like Mendoza or Carson Beck on that team as well. But I'm like, I'm probably going to need another body in the back half of the season. And so that's kind of one of the ways. And that's super cheap because of when all those guys are going. So if I'm taking Geno, it is generally in kind of that kind of situation.
Yep, 100%.
We saw Breece Hall go middle of the fourth round. I still think that's an overreaction. I still think he's good value there. David Montgomery also went around that time. Coming back around, the running back landscape is probably going to be a little bit done for us. We're going to have names like maybe Price. Yeah, Price probably comes back around, right?
We'll still have one more round, or we can hit like a firewall guy, and then it's going to be kind of blown up.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. There's also the part where we could start thinking about quarterback if we wanted to go that way. Although obviously we've set up Nix, who we both like at Price, so that's somebody that we can target for sure. We are seeing quarterbacks go now. We just saw Hurts go as the second quarterback.
Jadarian Price
that's interesting. Not to the Devonta Smith team either, so that's interesting. And then Lamar Jackson went right after him, so we might start to see kind of a quarterback run start here. We could look at Joe Burrow now that we do have, we have T. Higgins there as well. We could draft my favorite Colby Young at the back for that one. Eric All, we'll get you on board.
Ooh, Makai Lemon, juicy pick there. It hurts Lemon.
There we go. I'm interested to hear that Loveland's fallen this far. I don't think he's going to get back to us, but it is interesting that he keeps falling.
Yep. I have Makai Lemon in my 107th in PPR rankings.
Yeah, that feels aggressive for Makai Lemon. But again, could be right. We'll see. That's the fun, right? None of us know anything.
The team 5 start doing the 3 wide receivers and then getting Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs. I love that at all. If you're going to go wide receiver heavy, I think that's tremendous.
Yeah, I do think there are names there in what we would generally think of as the dead zone. I think Swift's on that list as well, that I am kind of okay with, and Jacobs and Hall are certainly. I mean, my
whole thing is if Jacobs had none of this ancillary stuff going on, he would be going at the 2-3 turn. Like there's none. We know what's happening.
Third round,
and even latest. I know some people have been making the fade case for him anyways as a decline. Like he would still be there though. Like he would definitely be near Achane and Kyron Williams.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, so it's back up to us. We have, at running back, we have Bucky Irving still here, Judkins still here, Ramondre, who I'm still on. We got McLaurin, Adunze, Evans, Harrison Jr. Who you thinking? We got 14 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin, Mike Evans, still good. We do Judkins.
Who do you want? 7 seconds.
I think let's do Mike Evans. I want to do the FOMO here for Mike Evans here.
We're just doing team hurt. We're going full go.
We want team touchdowns, baby. That's what we want. We want team touchdowns.
All right, so we're coming back around here. Same people should still be around.
And we set up a potential Purdy edition on this team.
Yeah, which we
set up other back stacks.
Like. Yeah. We always like that. If Judkins comes back around, is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, I would be. I'll throw it to you. I would be either Judkins if you want to sew up that like third running back spot, or if we explore Tyler Warren here, I would be okay with that as well.
We haven't drafted Tyler Warren. Why don't we do that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'll draft Tyler Warren. Obviously, sorry, Penn State legend Tyler Warren. I almost messed it up. I apologize. By the way, we lost not lost as in he died. I apologize for the wording. I said that, but Penn State legend Allen Robinson retired. What a great receiver, Allen Robinson.
Tough week for celebrity deaths too, man. Peter Cullen today that's a rough one. Tim Curry last night. It's rough, man.
It's not been good. It has not been. It's not been an exciting week.
I just saw Rocky Horror too. When I tripped to New York this year, and Luke Evans was playing Tim Curry's part. But yeah, that was a big time downer.
I'll share this real quick. I put it on Twitter. But you know how kids just pick a movie that they watch over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
Like how they do that? Mine was randomly the terrible Three Musketeers that Tim Curry played Cardinal Richelieu in. I watched that movie probably 150. I literally broke the VHS from watching the movie. VHS is how we used to watch movies, kids. But I broke the VHS for watching it too much. And so I will randomly do Tim Curry lines from that movie in real life, and nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. But there's a point where he just screams out, "That could be arranged," and I think about it all the time. That's a terrible British accent, but I think about it all the time. So rest in peace, Tim Curry, because you've added to my lexicon. So there you go. What a weird week. It's been a strange one. Speaking of Warren, we've talked about this offline. I haven't ever brought it up on here, but where Daniel Jones is going, I think is a little bit of an overreaction to last season. And if we ended up with Daniel Jones on this team, I wouldn't. Daniel Jones and if we could get Downs on this team, I wouldn't be against that. But obviously, it's up to you what we want.
Yeah, Downs has been a little bit of a faller here after the Keenan Allen, and then him dealing with a little bit of his own.
We do have 2 soft tissue injuries again after last year. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm not worried about that. I am a little bit worried about that. Alex Pierce back in practice. I don't know.
Yeah, Alec Pierce, and listen, I'm no doctor, so it looks like he's far away still from playing, but we'll see. Again, we still have 2 full weeks basically until anything happens. But he looks pretty far away still.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I do think we're probably looking at running back here. We've had a couple more go off the board. We had Stevenson, who is somebody I'm definitely targeting in this range. Brooks, who I've lost the Chuba thing. Like I've given up on the Chuba thing, but I'm still not really that in on Brooks. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, and that's basically been my argument with the whole time, is that it's not that I'm super into Brooks, that also that I'm just not into. I think that it's going to be largely a split, and it's probably being a split on a bad team.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am now. I had completely discounted Brooks, and that was wrong. And that was a bad call by me. But now I'm kind of I've risen to your camp. We probably do want to look at some running backs here, I would imagine, although we're starting to see these quarterbacks come off the board with Prescott, Burrow, Caleb Williams, Drake May. See Tony Pollard come off the board. This isn't for now, but I really think we should be drafting Tyjae Spears on this team. And so that's something we can add later on for sure. Brian Thomas.
I just haven't heard those words said in that order.
So what are you thinking here? We got Godwin goes. We got Jaden Daniels goes. At quarterback, we're down to Herbert, Lance, Stafford.
Yeah, and here's where we look at a little hindsight, and so we could have done Judkins because Laporta's still there.
Yeah.
And done a flip back. But yeah, I'd be Jaden Reed, Rico Dowdle would be kind of the guys I'd be looking at.
Rico Dowdle over RJ Harvey.
I would be Rico Dowdle for sure, yeah. But if we want to do both, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll take Rico. I don't know if I would have him over RJ Harvey, but I do think some of the stuff we're hearing about what his role will be in Pittsburgh is really promising for him. And so, I'm not out on Rico Dowdle, but I don't know if I'm beyond RJ Harvey on him. That's an interesting one. Jordan Mace is another guy that goes around this area. I think it's a little early for him still, but another guy that I'd be interested at running back. I would also probably take Josh Downs here, but I don't know what you're thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I still like Jaden Reed a little more, but I'm not because I feel like if we're just going to get pushed into the taking Daniel Jones, but I feel
that's what I'm trying to do.
That's on your agenda. So
that's literally what I'm trying to do. So you have read it correctly. But do you want to take Harvey? Do you want to take Mason, or do you want to try to take another receiver?
I would. Let's see. We're at a firewall here. I think receiver is going to be okay. I think we probably want to do one more running back. So if you want to do Harvey or Mason, that's fine with me.
Which one do you like better?
You wanted Harvey at the last pick, so I mean, if you just want to take him here, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it feels like counterintuitive because I'm taking a lot of Jonah Coleman, but Harvey could still be involved in the passing game. And I know that a lot of the pass attempts we saw from Bo Nix last year was driven by game environment.
Mason went right after, so we knew that at least that was right in that spot.
Oh, yeah, this is the area for both of them. But the thing about Denver is that, like, you can look at how many games they had to come back in last year and say that they're not going to throw as many times, drop back as many times. I think that's probably fair. But if you look at their neutral pass rate, it was still like 5th last year. I still think they're probably going to throw a lot. And if that's where Harvey is contributing, then, I still think he can be okay, especially in this type of format where you don't have to pick which weeks you're going to start him. So that's where I would land on Harvey. Not particularly excited to have him on my team, but also not against drafting him in this area. Seem fair?
Yeah. I mean, with Dowdle, like, I just think he and Warren should be a lot tighter in terms of, I feel like, one, they're both kind of interchangeable, but I do think Dowdle's a better short yardage rusher and is going to have like the goal line equity, and he can still catch passes too. And Rodgers, I think, is going to pepper both those guys when they're in the game, because that's where Rodgers is at this stage. But I just feel like they should be tighter, and I would think Dowdle is the favorite to easily score more touchdowns than Warren.
Yeah, I think that this idea we got from last year of Gainwell as the clear receiving back, and then Warren, and like that's just flipping, that Dowdle takes over Warren and Warren becomes a receiving guy and ends up in Kenneth Gainwell's role. I don't know if that's how they view it. It seems like everything I read out of camp is that's not really the case. And if that's not the case, then why is Warren going so much further ahead? I agree, which is funny for us to say, because at this time last year we drafted Jaylen Warren on I think every single team that we had. So, it is what it is. How years change.
And he ended up being a very cromulent pick.
We had Josh Downs go right after that too. So yeah, we're right in the range of where people are going. And then we have Reed, Metcalf, Diggs. We see, speaking of Gainwell, there we are. Goddard went ahead of Harold Finn.
That was I believe, the Hurts team, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Again, but not necessarily wrong, just interesting. We're gonna use the word interesting. It definitely seems like we're getting back to, no, we still got a lot of quarterbacks left. Herbert, Lawrence, Stafford, Mahomes, Goff, Nix, Purdy, if we want to throw that in there as well. So lots of guys here for us. So what are you thinking about as we get back to this next one?
Yeah, Kalen Black too, pretty early for him.
This draft might get thrown out.
That one won't. It's just it's some fun ones, man. It's in some fun ones. As you say, you never know what kind of room you're gonna get.
Sure. I mean, Kalen Black is it seems like now locked into the running back too, so fair enough.
But yeah, I would be fine. This would be a spot where I think Purdy would be the guy I would be looking at as QB1 here. If we can get him.
I still like some wide receivers that are here that I still like are Addison and Golden.
Yeah, I'm fine with either of those. I try to get a Packer pass catcher in every draft.
I feel like I do as well. Like, I feel that's where I've arrived, because I just feel like they're going to throw more this year. We invested early in tight end, so I don't think we're looking there. This is going to be add 2 tight ends.
It also gives you more outs for the QB2 spot where if we end up getting sniped on Nix, you have a Jordan Love. Yeah. There's all kinds of opportunities.
Well, and Nix normally goes ahead of Purdy too, so it's not like, it gives us just other options if we want to do that. Pierce actually just went Corum, Krosky, Merritt. Running back here, it's not for us. So either I think we take.
No,
Purdy
that's why
here.
we took 2 last time.
Either we take Purdy here or we take Golden. What do you want?
What's the teams that they both have quarterbacks behind us?
No, the turn only does not have a quarterback.
All right, take Golden. Let's push it, because we have other outs. If we don't get Purdy, we can still do Nix, and then we can still do Love later if we want that, or Daniel Jones. So let's just take the receiver, because we're gonna have a drop off. And I know you don't want another Michael Pittman team.
Please, anything but. Although I guess Germie Bernard is not making the push that we all hoped. So there it is. We did get a Mahomes. There you go. So we did get a quarterback there, but not a double.
I just was reading Concepcion, and I was like, oh man, we blew it. We should have taken Concepcion. I didn't realize he was there.
Kyler Murray too. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna take Purdy here.
Yeah, do Purdy.
The Concepcion over Golden. I guess I haven't really had to think about that very much.
He's probably gonna have 30 more targets than him.
Yeah, I guess
free square targets.
Yeah, I guess because it's PPR, that is the right call. We messed that up.
Yeah. That was my fault, because I was trying to keep track of the board, and then I missed it, and I was like, oh, as I was crossing Golden off, I was like, oh wait, Concepcion was there. But that's all right. That
was the right call. Hey, it is what it is. We're glad we got a quarterback. Goodness. So just in the last, what is that, 9 picks? We've got Goff, Mahomes, Murray, Purdy to us, and then Mayfield and Stafford all coming off the board. Earlier in that same round, in the 9th round, we had Herbert and Lawrence as well. So one of those famous quarterback runs came up and got us. So good that we got Purdy, and we still might have Knicks come back around. I kind of doubt it, but you never know.
Probably not, but yeah, maybe.
You never know what's happening. Chuba goes there. J.K. Dobbins goes there. This is the part of like the running back draft that I don't ever really want to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are names here. Like I could talk myself into Keaton Mitchell. Obviously, Aaron Jones, I think, is probably a little bit undervalued, even though it's not an exciting pick. We'll see with Rachaad White, like assuming he's healthy. He's gotten back to practice. Like I think Rachaad White's probably still a good pick, especially if their offensive line is as bad as the joint practices with the Raiders would lead us to suspect. And so, might be some dump-offs there. But yeah, not really where I'm looking to invest in running backs. So this is a much better time to load up on these quarterbacks and wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you get caught in here where you just are looking to throw some darts. Like you brought up Mitchell as a guy like I've taken some shots on. Even if you have Hampton, like on our team, I think it's okay to put those guys together because I don't think they're necessarily tied to one another. Honestly,
it does really feel to me that if Hampton were to miss time, we'd get
Vidal.
some Vidal in there. Yeah, we'd get Vidal
100%.
in there, and then Mitchell would still be kind of in it because like Mitchell's just not. It doesn't seem that's what he's built to do, right? And so for Mitchell, I think you're more hoping for big plays, explosive plays, things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And then you brought up like very occasionally we'll do a Rachaad White. We actually took him last night in the main just because he kept falling. Another guy I've kind of warmed up to too is Khalil Shakir. We've been talking about the Bills and we're talking about like Kincaid and DJ Moore. But like I also have been kind of working myself through the angle of like, what if Shakir's just not totally used the same way he's been the last 2 years because of the addition of DJ Moore and he gets a little higher ADOT. In best ball, like I think too, like he needs to go along for the ride a little bit. I've been trying to course correct and get some more Shakir in this range as well.
Yeah, and the thing with best ball is how many touchdowns are you going to get, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're catching the right game, then it's fine. I'm more worried with him, and the ADOT stuff is all real. And does he get more end zone targets? All that's real. But again, it's just that same conversation about is he going to get on the field enough? Right, is kind of where we are. But at this point in the draft, does it actually matter? Would probably be the better question.
Yeah, we've made all these Josh Allen bets, and it's like, well, man, I've made all these Josh Allen bets. How come I haven't taken these?
Well, because I draft DJ Moore and Dalton Kincaid in every draft that I don't do with you, and so that's where I come in. But no, I agree with you. I don't disagree about the pricing on Shakir right now. Knicks is still there. I might have just jinxed us, but the guy right in front of us just took 2 quarterbacks, so I don't think we're taking Knicks. So I think we're about to take Bo Nix, and then we're gonna have to think through it. Oh my God. So anyway, he took Bo Nix.
Super fun.
3 quarterbacks in a row. Good for him. So we've got to pivot pretty quick here. Wide receivers still got Coker.
Yeah, it would be Coker or Keaton Mitchell then, right? Like this would be the 2 guys we talked about. Or kind of talked about.
Yeah, I would rather Coker. I feel better about Coker not being a 0 for us than I do Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And we still can take Jordan Love.
No, Love went.
Oh, we did. I missed
Yeah,
Love.
we saw last term we saw Jackson Dart, Jordan Love, Mike Washington, Khalil Shakir, and then Sam Darnold. Again, all of these guys ahead of Bo Nix, who didn't last one more pick for us. How dare he?
Hate to see it.
So anyway, can I interest you in Daniel Jones? There's also a spot where I would still think about taking Spears just because I don't know if he gets back to us. But that's up to you how you're feeling about Spears.
Yeah, would you rather have Spears than Aaron Jones though?
Aaron Jones just went, unfortunately,
and
Lloyd just went as well.
Yeah, if you want to do Spears, that's fine. You already manifested it into the world.
There we go.
In round 2.
It's Tyjae Spears. All I'm saying is that Tyjae Spears, and maybe it's just they're managing Pollard. It is what it could be. Certainly be that, but he's been playing a lot of snaps in the preseason. Is all I'm saying. Just keep that in mind as we're going. We are getting to this point where, with only one quarterback, we might be in for a rough spot here.
No, we'll be all right.
Goff, Mayfield, Knicks, 3 rounds in a row. I was not expecting that. Broken my expectations.
Once you said it, once you put it into the world, you broke the stream curse.
It was my mistake. I apologize to everybody involved. I am sorry. But here we are, just kind of resetting our team. We've got 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers. So definitely going heavy on those positions. We're picking from pick 10. Started with Saquon, Hampton, Waddle, Higgins, Evans, Warren, Dowdle, Harvey, Golden, Purdy, Coker, and Spears is where we stand here, heading to our pick in the 13th round. And so I'm relatively happy with this team as we're running through all of this for sure. I really like getting these last 2 picks with Coker and Spears. I feel really good about those 2 guys in this kind of area of the draft. Obviously, we're going to have to figure out what tight end looks like, what the rest of our quarterback room looks like, but not doing too shabby right now.
I mean, you've done several of these with me, and like the back of these tight ends, like I would rather just largely wait than take a lot of the guys that go typically in this like high tight end 2 range. Definitely have warmed up easily to Juwan Johnson based on everything, the way the offseason's played out. But he's like kind of the one guy that I'm like really kind of like kosher about in that range. But I'm more or less apt to let people take the Jake Fergusons, the Okonkwo's, even Kelsey, man. It feels crazy to say we're at that point, but just I'd rather wait and take shots on guys like Terrence Ferguson, just upside picks with the backup guys, especially now we have Tyler Warren. Like we have an anchor guy too.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it on stream, but Kolar is somebody I'm drafting a lot of. Obviously, I've been trying to get you to come to see the light on Penn State legend Pat Freiermuth. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but yeah, like there's just a lot of names here.
Listen, Evan made a strong case for Freiermuth yesterday, and we took him.
There you go. See, Silva and I always on the same page about Penn State legend Pat Freiermuth. Everybody knows that. But no, I think it makes a lot of sense with him getting more involved this year. And it's not like we're betting on somebody who hasn't been a good fantasy player becoming a good fantasy player.
Oh, there goes Daniel Jones.
Yeah, there went Daniel Jones. He has been a good fantasy player in the past. We are really kind of up against it now at quarterback. What are you thinking? We've got
I mean, that one hurt. I thought for sure we were just locked into getting
Bryce
Daniel
Young,
Jones.
Jacoby Brissett, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith. Hey, we got a Geno team. Is it going to be a Geno team?
It's going to be. We got to take 2 QBs.
Yeah. You want to take Ward and hope for the best and try to backload this with
We have no choice but to take Ward, but if you want to push him around, because I don't think either of these guys are taking it.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to take him because we're at that point now where I didn't think the guy was going to take 3 quarterbacks in a row either. So like we're at that point. And then I guess we can backload here if we want to with Helm and Ridley. We've drafted Ridley before if we wanted to. Like there are some options here we have Spears already. So yeah, I think we'll probably be fine. 2 Titans in a row. What could go wrong? Britton Strange goes, and then Jonah Coleman goes. Who are you thinking here for this second one?
Yeah, I mean, usual suspects for us at this point. Dylan
Sampson's here.
We got Ray Davis, our love Ray Davis. You got your Dontavian Wicks. This is where I kind of like. This is where I've slotted like Booty.
If we take Ray Davis, it's going to be 6 running backs.
Oh yeah, we don't. I guess we don't need. We do Dalton Schultz too as well.
Yeah, might as well. Why not? The discount. Jake Ferguson, as someone put on Twitter, and I forgot who you are, and I apologize. All right, so we're sitting here now looking at our team with 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. We've got, 5 picks left, 6 picks left.
Yep.
So we have to just kind of be mindful of that.
One's going to be like Aaron Rodgers.
One's going to be a quarterback and one's going to be a tight end for sure, which leaves us 4 picks. We might end up with it's still only 1 tight end, right? 1 tight end and 1 quarterback. So that leaves us with 4 other picks, probably looking at like 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, somewhere in that range. Seem about right to you?
Yeah, we learned last time too. We kind of want to have wide receiver sewn up before the last couple rounds, just because it's just really dead those last few rounds.
Well, I don't know why you talk about Colby Young that way, but yes, otherwise I agree with you.
It's fine when you need like 1 guy just to fill out like your 7th or 8th spot. That's what your build. But like when you need to when you're talking about getting like your 5th and 6th wide receiver like late, it's really gross.
Well, let's hope Adonai Mitchell falls so we can finish that Geno Smith stack. We need that. We need that for sure. Flournoy, that's somebody certainly we're targeting around.
We could do
point.
Aaron Rodgers Freiermuth though, and then you got your Penn State legend plus the QB.
Aaron Rodgers Freiermuth.
He's the only guy that you could project left that's going to play 17 games.
Well, by minus injury.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Which I don't know if we can be sure about that at this point. But
well, again, we're not speculating. We're just saying like, hey.
Yeah. Some other names I put here in the queue for later. We got Calvin Ridley here, Chris Bell, who I'm trying to sell us all on Chris Bell. It's going to be a thing. I've left Malachi Fields out, although I think we've come to the consensus that we're in on Malachi.
Well, I mean, he by all accounts is the wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just going to be on the field, and then you have the Neighbors stuff. Like if Neighbors has any type of setback, you're not particularly great you don't feel great about taking the third target in the Giants offense, but in these, it's just a guy that is probably going to have red zone utilization. I mean, I think his playing time is still going to be higher than like a guy like Jacoby Lane, and Jacoby Lane's made a huge surge.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, team Jacoby Lane, both in rookie drafts and early in the draft, and it's gotten too rich for me now. Like we've gone beyond where I.
Well, you had the double whammy. You had the Bateman news, which was from June, and it seems like we're not going to get any resolution though on that. But anytime you have the double of like this guy's playing well in preseason, now this and the guy ahead of him is also in some trouble with the law, like you have that big paradigm shift. But Bateman, I believe, is still going to play a lot more than him.
Yeah, I'm that as well. Like I'm not saying I really want to target Bateman because we do have that uncertainty. And any target on Bateman is just like you saying, well, maybe we see what we saw 2 years ago. He gets 9 touchdowns again or whatever. But yeah, like I think we're probably over.
Well, he's also outright playing the slot more this year.
Vele just went. You want to take Flournoy here?
No, I think we got to take Rodgers, right?
We're taking Rodgers? All right,
I think we have to. Unless you got to push him around.
No, you said taking Rodgers. We're taking Rodgers.
We kind of have to.
All right, here we are. We're living in this disaster of taking care of Rodgers. I suddenly feel a lot worse about this team. What do you
You know what's funny is last year I made you take one Rodgers team too in a 3 QB build, and it ended up working out. Like
yeah, it was okay.
You have to take you had to take it.
Chris Bell just went and Dulcich. Is that a Malik Willis team? And then Sadiq goes. Who are you thinking here?
If you want to, do you want to do Freiermuth or do you want to do Fields?
Or who?
Malachi Fields.
Yeah, let's do Fields. I don't think we need to push Freiermuth.
Yeah, let's do Malachi.
Yeah, and we have Rico Dowdle, right? And he's going to catch a ton of passes for Aaron Rodgers, so we're fine.
I'm probably 30.
So we're fine here.
Well, that's the like just like last year. I think both those guys are going to catch passes, Warren and Dowdle.
I agree.
That's where Rodgers is. He's throwing those checkdowns, man. He's getting the ball out of his hands. They're an interesting team. I think they're going to oscillate a lot. Like there's going to be games I think where the Steelers are real heavy 12 personnel. I think there'll be other games where they're heavy 11 personnel. Like I think that's where I've come at the end of this offseason. You know, we've written a lot about the tight end stuff. I think just more teams are set up to go in and out of it than we were last year, where there was like a commitment to one lane. I think we're going to see some week-to-week volatility where teams are tight end heavy one week and then they might be 11 heavy the next week.
They've given themselves the option,
yes,
structurally from a roster perspective.
The Steelers are one of those teams. Like I think that's going to be able to flip in and out pretty well.
Gadsden just went. The fall from Gadsden. We've been out on Gadsden the whole time. I'll count that as a win. As everybody who's ever listened to this knows, I only like to count losses because I think that's funnier. But it was so obvious on Gadsden, and yeah, we'll see. Right? We don't want a victory lap too early, but what we've seen in the preseason has not been promising for Gadsden, and that is for sure. Running backs in this area, you know, we still got Ray Davis. I feel like that's probably
our king, Ray Davis.
Got to click that button the next time when he comes back around. Ray Davis is still there. Obviously, I'm in on Emmett Johnson. Oh, why did I say anything?
No, I mean that felt like pretty late for him, round 17.
Why would I even say anything?
They saved us from ourselves because we think we've drafted a Ray Davis in every single team.
You don't think we should be 100% Ray Davis?
I mean, if you're going to be 100% a guy, it's going to be a late round pick, so it's fine. think it's completely fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, so Emmett Johnson's another running back that I'm targeting here. Who do you like later?
Yeah, those are the guys typically have running back kind of locked up outside of the guys that you talked about, where we're even throwing some darts at Damon Claiborne and those kind of guys. But yeah,
so our report, Damon Claiborne's locked in as the number 3, so we're feeling good about that.
Yeah, Emmett Johnson, Freiermuth make a lot of sense here. Freiermuth probably makes the most sense, but if we want to push him around,
cool. There he goes.
Yep,
Freiermuth gone. All right, I'll take Emmett Johnson here, and we'll finish out our running back room. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, Emmett Johnson there, and then we'll see what happens on the way back around. We are definitely here, and just take your guys. We have Calvin Ridley still, if we want to try to pair something with Cam Ward. That would be the second time we drafted Calvin Ridley. I don't really know if that's.
I think once was enough.
That was a game we want to get into here. Tight end, I think we can probably still push, but if you wanted to take Kolar, I wouldn't be against it. That's certainly somebody I'm targeting here at the end. Any wide receivers stand out to you?
No, wide receivers.
15 seconds.
Pretty cooked here.
All right, just take Kolar and just see what happens.
Yeah, that's fine. You might as well take a guy at least we know we need on the roster and we have some faith in.
All right, we've got however long here to figure out what in this mess of wide receivers we're going to take.
I've never been so hurt to not get an Aaron Rodgers, Pat Freiermuth stack.
How dare you, person who took Pat Freiermuth? How dare you break Rich's spirit like that?
Yeah, that one was tough, man. I was like, this is the out. This is going to work out still.
We had the Bo Nix out taken from us, Daniel Jones taken from us, Pat Freiermuth taken from us. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, not even good players.
I did star Rashad Bateman here because we talked about it. It seems like Thornton's still ahead of Cyrus Allen. I'm not saying we should take Thornton. I'm just saying that's an interesting.
Yeah, I mean Cyrus Allen is a fun dude, but like it's hard to find the snaps for him, right? Like, and I know people want him to play over Xavier Worthy. I promise you, the Chiefs are not playing him over Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they appear to not even be playing him ahead of Tyquan Thornton, which is kind of the more important thing for his purposes, I would say. I kind of talked about Germie Bernard. He's not making the push we want, but he is still here if that's somebody we wanted to add.
Yeah, he might be up to someone we throw on here just at the end.
For sure. Before the trade went down, maybe we could have talked ourselves into some Xavier Hutchinson running his.
We're doing 2 receivers. That's what we're at.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what our roster build works at the best right now. Just kind of recap it for everybody. Our roster is 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Probably makes the most sense, especially since we started 2 running backs here. So that's kind of was my thought.
Ted Hurst is a dude I'd still throw in.
I have Ted Hurst already starred for you.
Attaboy.
I think it makes sense. Like, we're like, what, 1 injury away from Ted Hurst?
Maybe none, because he's kind of their only X receiver.
Yeah.
So I mean, McMillan being so banged up has really opened up him to make noise, and it sounds like he's taken advantage, at least the initial opportunity he's had to at least put himself on the radar of like, yep, we made a good draft pick. So
yeah, I mean, the thing about
Igbuka being out,
Ibuka's hurt. McMillan has been hurt now for 2 years in a row. Penn State legend Chris Godwin is older, and coming back from injury of his own, although, could be healthy this year. I am in on Chris Godwin. But yeah, there are lots of, if we're making 19th and 20th round picks, there are avenues for Ted Hurst and an offense with a quarterback that we like, right? And so I think that it makes a lot of sense. Will he get back to us? I don't know. That's, I think, the bigger question here on Ted Hurst. But I've got a couple stars here of Hurst, Bernard, Bateman, and I'm going to just keep talking about
those guys all make sense.
I will remove Colby Young because we already have T. Higgins and we didn't get Joe Burrow, so I'm going to remove him. But he's not being drafted in enough leagues. That's all I'm saying. Not being drafted in enough of these for sure. There goes Xavier Hutchinson. That's interesting.
With Jalen Knoll.
No one has gotten autoed Ricky Pearsall yet, so that's good. Did someone get autoed Jaden Higgins?
Yeah, Jaden Higgins just went, so they got
there
autoed.
You go. Someone got autoed Jaden Higgins. All right, so Hurst, we'll take Hurst here. And then hopefully Bernard comes back around. Actually, probably should have done it the other way. It doesn't really matter.
It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. There's Ayuk. There's Njoku, which I'm not mad at that part of it either. There goes Bateman. We're gonna lose our last one. We're gonna get sniped once.
It'd be
more
fitting
at
for
the gun.
it'd be fitting for here the way some of these back halves gone. The guys we were kind of targeting to shape up this roster.
Will we get one more snipe? One more snipe. We didn't. There we go. Kyle Williams has gone ahead of us. So that's Germie Bernard. We'll take him. That works out. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Getting him on an Aaron Rodgers team. There's something wrong with having an Aaron Rodgers team, but getting him on an Aaron Rodgers team does make quite a bit of sense. So just kind of recapping our team here. Started from the 10th spot. Ended up with Saquon and Hampton as our first 2 picks. Then we ended up with Jaylen Waddle, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Tyler Warren, Rico Dowdle, RJ Harvey, Golden, Purdy, Coker, Spears. That Coker pick we had hoped were Bo Nix. The Cam Ward pick that I'm now telling to you we hoped was Daniel Jones. Kind of got a little bit sniped here at the end, but it is what it is. Then we have Dalton Schultz, Aaron Rodgers, Malachi Fields, Emmett Johnson, Charlie Kolar, Ted Hurst, and Germie Bernard to close it out. I will tell you, just as you know, I'm pretty honest with how I feel about these as we do them.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a lot better about this draft through 10 rounds than I do through 20 rounds. Not that I necessarily think it's a terrible team, but we kind of had our strategy a little bit messed up through the course of that. So, it is what it is. It happens in these drafts.
Yeah, I mean, I look back on it and I look at the 6-7. I think if we would have known Laporta was there for sure, we probably push in Judkins Laporta instead of Warren Dowdle, and you probably feel a little bit stronger there at that sport.
Yeah,
I would have liked that.
Judkins Warren. Yeah.
That'd have been a nice little flip. Knowing we could have gotten Laporta, like I said, Laporta, because touchdown equity, Lions attachment, all those good things.
Are you worried at all about this Laporta injury though? With what we had last year.
No, because by all accounts, like it was a contusion, just took a hit on the hip. And then,
I will tell you, I'm a little bit worried, but only because I've drafted so much Laporta at this point. So like I can afford to be worried because I have so much. Like I feel like I draft Laporta in every single draft.
Because if you flip Judkins and Tyler Warren and we get Laporta coming back at 7, we don't have to force double running back. It gives us a lot more fluidity. We could have maybe added a Jaden Reed. We could have gone receiver in that direction, taken one of Dowdle Harvey, and then added, whether your flavor was Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, so forth. I think that's probably a little pocket that kind of tilted this thing into a different direction, because then that kind of made us think about opening up our doors for like the other stacks that we ended up not even getting anyways. When we took Tyler Warren, it was the kind of like, all right, well, are we going to do something with Daniel Jones later? And we ended up not. We wouldn't have had to. So, yeah, I think when I look back at that pocket, that kind of warped the kind of back half a little bit as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree completely. But I also don't think, like, knowing what we knew at the time, that taking Warren there was a bad pick. It's just, it fell that way.
I still think when you look at our first 7 picks, you can make a pretty strong case. I think 5 to 6 of those guys scored double-digit touchdowns, though.
And those picks are Barkley, Hampton, Waddle, Higgins, Evans, Warren, and Dowdle.
Right.
So, yeah, feeling good about that. Obviously, injury permitted with Higgins and Evans,
anybody,
and Saquon, and literally everybody on the roster.
Not just anyone. Sure. It's football.
It's football. Fair enough. Football. I do really like Golden. He's somebody I'm getting a lot. So, obviously I'm not mad at that. And then Spears. So yeah, like we didn't end up too bad, but like certainly did not go the way that we had hoped in this end. And then, like we said, we didn't really want to be chasing wide receivers at the end, and we still ended up with our last 2 picks being wide receivers. Yep. So it is what it is. Although I do like those 2 picks. I do like Hurst and then Germie Bernard for this team. I'd rather Bateman in this. I'd rather Colby Young. Like I really think that we're overlooking him, but I don't mind Germie Bernard for this team with Aaron Rodgers. All right, that's it. Our best ball season's over. I definitely will do no more best ball drafts between now and the start of the year. I promise you. I promise my wife that I will do no more best ball drafts. But Rich and I are going to do more drafts. In fact, we will be back this time next week on Friday to do an FFPC draft in the Big Gorilla. So make sure you subscribe wherever you find us so you get access to that. It'll be different. It's a managed league. It's over at FFPC. The scoring's different. It's going to be a bit of a different one. So make sure you subscribe for that for sure. Head over to sharpfootballanalysis.com. Check out the draft kit, everything you need to draft your team. Rich's rankings, his projections, his tiers, his strategy, how he's approaching drafts this year, all of that available as part of the draft kit. Check it out. You can get the draft kit for $20 off when you use the promo code BUNDLE20. Actually, that'll get you the bundle. That'll get you everything. That'll get you the draft kit and the season, $20 off, BUNDLE20. Make sure you check that out. And Rich and I'll be back to talk with you next week.